7.
Parliament, and my colleague Kweku Asante is on standby to bring us up to speed on how it has started. Kweku, what's happening in Parliament now?
Urban Bagwin has just walked in and proceedings have started. They are correcting the votes and proceedings of the previous sitting of Parliament. That will be last Friday when President Akufo-Addo actually did come in to deliver his message on the State of the Nation address. Before we connect to the feed and get into Parliament as this has been done, we can now confirm that the NDC are now firming up some of the details, and Bernard Ahiafor, the MP for Akache South, is set to become the Member of Parliament, is set to become the first Deputy Speaker, and we understand in the coming hours a letter and other documents will be put out in there to firm that up, although the NDC is yet to confirm its front bench. But you can go to the chamber now where the Speaker of Parliament is undertaking proceedings as regards to the specifics of the votes and proceedings before the House will get into the substantive business of dissolving the 8th Parliament.
Table office, can you take note of that? Page 12. Page 13. Page 13, yes, please.
Right Honourable Speaker, with your indulgence, I want to go back to page 9.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, paragraph 14, remarks by leadership. Roman numeral 1. The Honourable Deputy Minority Leader and Member for Elembele, Mr. Emmanuel Amakofibua, thanked HE, the President, for delivering his message on the State of the Nation to the House. He stated a number of projects and policies.
Where are you talking about?
Page 9.
Of
paragraph 14.
Of which
Second.
No, we are dealing with Thursday, 2nd January.
Okay. When we get there, I'll deal with the matters.
Okay. Page 13. Page 14. Honourable members, in the absence of any further corrections, the votes and proceedings of Thursday, 2nd January 2025 are hereby adopted as a true record of proceedings. We now move on to the votes and proceedings of Friday, 3rd January 2025, page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, page 6, page 7. Yes, page 7.
Mr. Speaker, page 7, item 4, number 3. On Friday, I was present, but I've been marked absent.
The Honourable Member for German North, please, table office, can you take note? Page 8. Page 9. Page 10. Sorry, page 9. Yeah.
Mr. Speaker, I earlier on tried to draw attention to what I believe to be an inaccurate reportage of what happened that day. If you read paragraph 14, Roman numeral 1, says the Honorable Deputy Minority Leader and member for Elembele, Mr. Emmanuel Amakofibua, thanked HE the President for delivering his message on the state of the nation to the House. He stated a number of projects and policies of the outgoing government, which in his opinion could have been done differently. So, Speaker, we're all in this chamber. And this is not what Honorable Amakofibua said. So, Mr. Speaker, I think that this report is misleading.
What did he say? What did he say? What did he say? What did he say?
You want me to repeat all the things he said?
I can repeat what he said.
Yes, please.
Speaker, I am a bit taken aback by the comment of my senior colleague. This is votes and proceedings, and he knows well that that is fine expression in the Hansard. I think that you are unnecessarily trying to breed controversy. So Hansard will capture him as he said it. And I don't know if you want to advertise your bid for the majority leadership. Is that how you are going to rehearse it? So unfortunate. He is completely out of order. And I invite you to rule him out of order. This is votes. This is votes and proceedings. This is not the Hansard.
Yes, please.
Mr. Speaker, what Honorable Ayariga said is perfectly right. Honorable Ama Kofibua talked about, he read a quotation from the book of Exodus, and then he talks about some Egyptians. Those were not government policies. Those were not government policies or projects. He also I'm only saying that the quotation from the book of Exodus and then the Egyptians are neither project or policies of government. That is all I'm saying. That if somebody makes reference to the Bible, it is not government policy. So the votes and proceedings should have captured it differently. I'm not disputing the fact that certain things happen. But Mr. Speaker, the bottom line is he doesn't want us to repeat them, so we will not repeat them. It's in the Hansard.
Honorable members, table office will kindly take note and make a review of the summary of what was said that day. But I prefer the word mentioned than stated. He mentioned a number of projects, not stated a number of projects. Honorable members, yes, Honorable Ahiafor.
Speaker, thank you very much. Speaker, I don't recall my leader in thanking the president mentioning project. He said a lot of things. If the table office intended to
Honorable member, I've given my
very well. Speaker, we are guided.
They should go and review the
Thank
summary.
you very much.
Because it's a summary of what was said. So I said they should go and review it and capture it properly.
Speaker, I'm guided. Thank you.
You're still live here on Joy News, where we are giving you live coverage of the dissolution of the 8th Parliament. The Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, came in pretty shortly and started with the correction of the votes and proceedings, which has generated quite a little controversy, where Mahama raising the matters of what the Deputy Leader, Emmanuel Amakufibua, did say when the President delivered his message on the State of the Nation address. And so today is largely going to be ceremonial. There will be speeches from both sides. The Speaker of Parliament himself will deliver his closing remarks, and then usually the 8th Parliament will stand dissolved for the chamber to be reconstituted for the 9th Parliament to be sworn in the next few hours, starting from 9:10 p.m. when the new MP selects will begin to take their seats. But as we have been giving you breaking news coming in, and as we are getting some confirmation that the NDC MP for Akachi South, Bernard Ahiafor, will be named by the NDC as the first Deputy Speaker for the 9th Parliament. There's still a lot of haggling and conversation going on regarding who may be named as the second Deputy, whether or not the NPP side will put forward again Andrew Amakwesiama, or the NDC may wish to stage what some would describe as a coup, quote, and bring in some of the independent MPs to become the second Deputy Speaker, as we saw in the previous Parliament in 2004. All those matters are still up for discussion. The Speaker of Parliament is about to speak. I will go back to the Chamber of Parliament.
Right, Honourable Speaker. Permission to take you back to page 8. Item number 8, VI. My good uncle, Mr. Samu Kujato Sr., his designation has been presented here as only the representative of the chairman of the Council of State, but he is also a member of the Council of State. So that should be properly captured. Member of the Council of State and representative of the chairman of the Council of State. And yes, then, Mr. Speaker, item number...
You are right. It will be noted. Yes.
I'm grateful, Mr. Speaker. And then, Mr. Speaker, item number VIII. Nana Kunedu Ajiman Rawlings. We have here spouse of the former president, Mr. Jerry John Rawlings. Mr. Speaker, consistency is missing. For the earlier, if you, Mr. Speaker, respectfully pay regard to item number I and II, Mrs. Rebecca Akufo-Addo, we have spouse of His Excellency the President, Hajia Mrs. Samira Baumia, spouse of His Excellency the Vice President. So why is former President Rawlings described as Mr. and not His Excellency Jerry John Rawlings? So for consistency, if we are according them the respect they deserve, let's be consistent. It should be spouse of the former president, His Excellency Jerry John Rawlings, as we have done for the others. So respectfully submitted, Mr. Speaker.
Table office, kindly take note. Honourable members, in the absence of any further corrections, the votes and proceedings of Friday, 3rd January 2025 are hereby adopted as a true record of proceedings. Honourable members, Honourable members, please direct that the House should reconstitute itself into a closed sitting. The House should reconstitute itself into a closed sitting.
Ahead of the official dissolution of Parliament, Speaker has asked that non-MPs be cleared of the chamber. We understand some issues to be dealt with that they do not wish the public to perhaps be in the know of, and so the chamber will be cleared of all persons who are non-MPs for those conversations to be had, and then when the House return, they will then come and do the closing of the 8th Parliament, and then it will stand dissolved.
Well, this is Joy News, and we've been bringing you the live coverage of how the 8th Parliament intends to dissolve shortly to make way for the 9th Parliament. And my colleague Kweku Asante has been a man on ground from morning till now and has been bringing us updates. Now, Kweku, just before that break, you were telling us that the Speaker has asked that anybody who is not a member of Parliament should excuse them because there's some things that needed to be addressed without their presence in there. Bring clarity to that. Is this a norm? Is this very novel or something that happens already? Please bring us update.
This is what is called a closed sitting in Parliament, where people who are deemed strangers, not members of Parliament, are asked to leave. My understanding is that this is still regarding issues having to do with the ex gratia for Article 71 of the holders. And we started this last week. This is the third time between Thursday and now that non-members of Parliament have been asked to leave the chamber. On Thursday last week, it was the same thing, because they were working on matters having to do with MPs, quote-unquote, welfare, issues having to do with the Article 71 benefits. And so MPs were asked to stay back, and non-MPs were asked to leave the chamber. Same thing that has happened now. I understand the work on the emoluments for Article 71 and Article 72 was not concluded last week and is going to be continued today. They have to do this and finish today and approve the necessary modifications and resolutions that will allow the Finance Minister to pay members of Parliament, members of the Executive, members of the Judiciary, the entitlements and Article 71. That very controversial matter having to do with ex-gratia and other back pay that is paid for their service under Article 71. And so my understanding is that is the issue for which the Parliament has gone into a closed session. The big business, however, today is regarding the dissolution of the eighth Parliament, whether the ceremonial treaty between the minority leader, the majority leader, and the Speaker of Parliament, and then the eighth Parliament will stand adjourned before the House is properly reconstituted for the ninth Parliament to take over. So, that is a bit of a lowdown, and that is why it is asked on in the feedback. We expect that this will take anywhere between 30 and 40 minutes and 1 hour.
Okay.
To be dealt with, and then the ceremony to dissolve the eighth Parliament. We'll get back to session.
Well, I will revisit the ceremony, and you tell us usually, or the tradition and how it usually will look like, how many minutes that will last even before they go home and prepare and come back for the new members of Parliament to be sworn in. But let's explore the names that are coming up on the floor, especially for first and second deputy speakers. What are the names coming up?
Well, so as regards the first deputy speaker, I can confirm, given some of authoritative persons I've spoken with, that the NDC MP for Akache South, Bernard Ahiafor, is said to be named as the first deputy speaker. There are no confirmation yet as to who may be the second deputy speaker, because there's still a lot of jostling underway. That ordinarily, if you look at the standing order, cannot go to an NDC MP. The speaker and the first deputy speaker and the second deputy speaker cannot all come from the same political party. For which reason, if the NDC takes Alban Bagwin to be the Speaker of Parliament, they cannot have the second deputy speaker if they're able also to get Bernard Ahiafor as the first deputy speaker. It will mean that will have to go to the NPP or any of the independent MPs. In 2004, after the 2004 election, following the NDC decision to nominate Speaker Lajate to be retained as Speaker, the NDC were punished by the NPP when, instead of giving them one of the deputy positions, they gave it to Freddie Play, who then was CPP MP for Elembele. We understand conversations are going on at the back among the NDC MPs who are saying that they do not believe that the MPP should be allowed to take second deputy speakership position, and that they should look at any of the four independent MPs who are coming in and give any of them the second deputy position. No conclusion reached there, but if any conclusion is reached on that, that will be intriguing to see. Or the MPP has to know now, if they are allowed to do so, they put up Andrew Amakwe to become the second deputy speaker. These are all matters we will get to see pretty shortly. When it comes to the majority leadership for the ninth Parliament, this is the NDC side. The NDC MPs are really tight-lipped about the situation. Not a lot of giving out in terms of that. But as of now, we are getting the indication that Muhammad Yarga may be the person to be nominated or to actually lead the NDC convention to become a majority leader. Just going by, you heard the Sankanodom when he was making his submission on the floor, referring that and saying that Muhammad Yarga was lobbying to become the majority leader. We understand conversations have gone very far ahead. And because John Dramani Mahama is also not appointing his ministers anytime between now and tomorrow, it will mean that maybe the name for the majority front bench for the ninth Parliament may not come between now and this evening.
Right.
It's very likely that even when the ninth Parliament is sworn in, Dr. Kesela Soforsin and his colleagues in the current minority leadership will still be in the seat for the majority leadership, but that is not expected to last for very long, especially as soon as John Mahama assumes office and names his ministers. We understand a number of those persons will go into the executive, and then the NDC can substantively name Mahama Yarga and others to lead their front bench. But that is the chapter we are speaking. And Mahama Yarga may be the one who may be named as the majority leader to lead the NDC caucus. But nothing confirmed, nothing firmed up yet. A lot of rumors going around, a lot of jostling, a lot of haggling, where names like Unta Kapawara also coming up quite strongly. So, in terms of the name, in terms of the leadership of Parliament, right from the speakership, executives, and then the leadership of both the majority and minority caucus, those are the names coming up.
And so you would say that it doesn't even matter, it will not matter if the Speaker is swearing in the new members of Parliament. It wouldn't matter if we have a majority leader or not. It can last like that for...
It wouldn't matter.
Okay.
I mean, even if the NDC were to appoint leaders today and they were sworn in, they are not sworn in as leaders. They are sworn in as ordinary members of Parliament.
Right.
And they can be changed at any point in time, as we've seen in the 8th Parliament, where both the minority and majority have reconstituted their front benches. And so it wouldn't matter even if Ahiafor and his colleagues still stay there up until later on when the NDC will name their substantive leadership. They will just come forward and take their chair. The only trick is that normally when the leaders are named, they form part of the Parliamentary Service Board. And those ones are done pursuant to resolutions. So those ones go to resolutions, and when committees are constituted, leadership form key parts of certain committees. And so that is when certain resolutions would have to be taken. But between now and perhaps the end of this week, committees will not be set up and all those things. Perhaps from next week, I will get to see all ones. So for now, those ones wouldn't really matter and it wouldn't cause any challenge for the reconstitution of the House.
What are you reading? How are you reading the room? Do you think that the NDC members of Parliament are intending to punish the NPP by not allowing them to nominate a second deputy speaker, despite the standing order providing for that? It's happened before. We've seen that before, as you've been teaching us or you've been updating us on. Is that what you're picking up?
Yes, I get a sense that there are a lot of NDC MPs who believe that the MPP should not be allowed to take a second deputy speaker. The challenge for the NDC is that a lot of the persons who are coming as independent MPs may not either be lawyers or well-versed with parliamentary procedure. I mean, if you're a second deputy speaker, mostly you may take the chair when the speaker or the first deputy are not around. You have to take the House through the bill-making process and all the other things that you have. You must really know your stuff. And a lot of the persons who are coming in, I don't have knowledge yet of their professional capability. I know, for instance, A+, an independent MP, is not a lawyer. Kwame Frimpong, the independent MP from Asante Assembly, is also not a lawyer. I do not yet know the legal background of the NDC MP, the independent MP elect for Afram Place North and the other MP elect, whether they are lawyers or they have any legal background. Because between the start of the new parliament in 1993 and now, almost always the speaker himself, the first deputy, the second deputy, they are almost always lawyers because of the intrigue, the kind of qualification and skill set you need to be able to lead the House in terms of the lawmaking process and all the other things that you have to do. They've almost always been lawyers. And so that is the challenge for the NDC. They have to do that. But if they can't get any of those 4 independent MPs to become second deputy, then perhaps they can just, allow the NPP side to nominate Andrew Amakwesi or whoever the NPP would like to put forth to become the second deputy.
On the side of it, have you cited, or what's the mood for the NPP, particularly the members of Parliament who have served for years, who are exiting the 8th Parliament, and not that they intended to exit by not being the members of Parliament, but they pursued higher political positions and it didn't go well for them, like Nadia Japan and also Dr. Matthew Poku Prempo and the likes. Have you cited them, and what's the mood for persons like that?
Well, so Japan has been in the House right from very early today. Whilst I was in the chamber before the Speaker of Parliament walked in, he was around, he was interacting with some of his colleagues. You know, he's retiring at the end of this Parliament. You know, someone like Osei Siemens that was also retiring at the end of this Parliament. Matthew Poku Prempe, like you mentioned, also leading the speech because he could not contested for his party in the parliamentary election, given that he was contesting as the NPP's vice presidential candidate. And so all these big days, questions Avoka on the NDC side, the attrition rate for the 8th Parliament is going to be very huge. There are going to be nearly 100 new faces or more who are all going to come into the 9th Parliament as fresh persons who are coming in for the first time. A lot of the NPP MPs have been defeated either in their parliamentary primaries or in the general election. They were defeated, and so all of them going away. The NDC MPs did not lose a lot of seats in the last election. They lost about 4, 5, 6 compared to the actual MPs who lost 40, 50, 60 seats. Especially, and a number of them also losing their seats in their party's parliamentary primaries. Very few very senior NDC MPs lost out in their parliamentary primaries. And so those are some of the attrition rate conversations that we have. A very senior person who have been in Parliament for years now are all set to retire at the end of this Parliament, either because they lost or they themselves to the decision to leave. A number of them have already come in. Clinton was saying, members in Parliament, the member of Parliament for Athens Central State Japan. All of them in Parliament. Last time, when the Parliament is dissolved and they walk out, that will be the last time they will come into the team of Parliament as members of Parliament.
Well, let me finally wrap with you and find out that when we go back, I know the Parliament is still in session, but for the private session that's happening, whatever that would happen, would it be ceremonial or procedural in the dissolution? Would it be?
We'll ceremonial. We'll have speeches from the leadership of both sides. Both the minority and majority leaders will deliver speeches and give their closing remarks before the Speaker of Parliament himself. He will also deliver his closing remarks. That will lead to the dissolution of the 8th Parliament. And then that way, as soon as those are done, the Speaker of Parliament will pronounce the 8th Parliament as dissolved.
Okay.
And then he will rise and bow to the maze for the last time. Everybody will get out. And then the chamber reconstituted to take care of the numbers as we have it now. 183 for the NDC, 88 for the NPP, 4 independents. There's 1 outstanding. No decision yet. The Electoral Commission is still working to get that resolved. And so all that will be made. And then at 9 p.m., the chamber will be opened again for MPs who be in the 9th Parliament now walk in and take their seats. At 9 p.m., they will start taking their seats. At 11 p.m., there will be an election for the Speaker of Parliament and the Deputy.
Okay.
And then at 12 o'clock midnight, the Speaker will be sworn in, and he, in turn, will swear in the other members of Parliament. So it will largely be ceremonial before the Parliament is agenda.
Perfect, Kweku. I'd like you to hang in there while I go to Dr. Kwame Asante, political scientist, University of Ghana. And Doc, thank you for joining us. I'd like to find out really what is the kind of politics that really will play out on a day such as this?
A day such as this, we are going to see voting that will take place. This time around, if you look at the numbers on the side of the NDC, it is clear in my mind that they will be able to carry the day without much difficulty.
Right.
So instead of lobbying and all that, you are not going to see much of lobbying. It's going to be calm in a sense that you are not seeing, we don't have, hung parliament as you used to be in the 8th Parliament. So generally speaking, you are going to see a very cool atmosphere in terms of the work that you are going to do.
Well, Doug, let's explore the politics that will also play out in the political parties, particularly the NDC, especially because we don't have a hint of the ministers that the presidents would be naming. Maybe they know it internally, but we as a country have not had a hint of the persons that will be named to serve in the executive. And will that matter, especially in terms of the majority leader and its deputies? Because then we don't know, and maybe somebody is eyeing a position as an executive, and because you're named, you're unable to perform such role. What kind of politics can play out internally?
You see, this type of question you are asking, already that exercise has been done behind the scenes. They have communicated to them as to who will be holding which portfolio and all that, because they are mindful of the fact that this, the question you are posing could arise. So by now, except that those people are tight, they are not going to say it, but they've communicated to them that you will hold this, and all that. So any other position which is in there, I am sure they have done some, background work. So everybody knows who is going for what. So for the cameras, they are going to pretend as if they don't know what is going to happen. But I can tell you without fear of contradiction that homework has been done, and that you are not going to surprise anybody. The people know who is going to occupy which position and at what point in time.
What would be your take on the position of the second deputy speaker? As we know historically that some political parties sometimes would want to punish the other political parties, happened before, and now we have not heard the minority, though they may be empowered by the standing orders, that they have to nominate somebody for the second deputy speaker. What do you think can really happen if the NDC decides that, well, we're going against the standing order and we're not going to be allowing the incoming minority to nominate anybody for second deputy position in Parliament?
I can't foresee that.
Okay.
Because in Parliament, remember, it doesn't matter the numbers on the side of the NDC. You still require some members to be part of a decision in order to make it valid. So it requires that you need to work as a team and build consensus. So on that strength, they would not want to press that button. It will amount to, stabbing themselves at their own back, and that they will not do. They need compromises, they need to, consult, and they need to build consensus. So that's what it's going to do.
Right. Thank you so much, Dr. Kwame Asante, for talking to us. Well, we'll go for a break, and when we come back, we hope that Parliament will be in session and we can also go back to Parliament. And our man, Kweku Asante, is always on standby and will bring us updates. Do stay.